Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today I get to do a show that I have been thinking about and wanting to do for quite a while. I think we all know who Stephan is. In the finance world on YouTube, he's a rock star. But you know what? There's other rock stars. And he makes a lot of money. You know what? There's a lot of people that make a lot of money. So why single out Stephan? And I'll tell you why. When I first saw him, I thought there was something special, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And as I've watched him, I think I figured it out. Now I want you to think about, if you don't know it, you can Google this and they'll tell you about the old Hollywood studios back in the day. The way that they built themselves up is they would invest in the infrastructure, the studios, the cameras, the lights, the land, and then they would get the talent and put the talent under contract. You know, as an example, $100 a week. And for that $100 a week for the next year, they were at the studios beck and call. Some of them did, you know, a movie a month. And then the studios would sell it, they'd keep the money. And as I watched Stephan go about his business, I kept getting that picture in my mind. I think Las Vegas is going to be the new Hollywood for YouTube. I think Stephan is going to be the Charlie Chaplin of YouTube. Every time I see him do something, it fits perfectly into this scenario. Piece by piece, he is assembling a dynasty. He's putting it together patiently, piece by piece. Let me give you an example. There are other finance people on there, like there's one, his name is Meet Kevin, and he does 5,000 videos a day and makes tons of money in real estate and in the market. But you know what? At some point, his show's going to go away, just like all the great TV shows, they all eventually go away. And Stephan's will too. But here's the difference. Stephan is setting himself up so that he has an income when his shows are gone. As an example, the most recent pieces I've seen him put together is he hired Jack as his first assistant. And right after Jack started, they started a new program called the Iced Coffee Hour. After 1 year, it made a little over $50,000, and that's Jack's salary. So he got a whole year out of Jack, and it didn't cost him a penny out of his pocket. Then he hired another guy. This happened recently. His name is Alex. And the week they hired Alex, they started another vlog called Stephan. And I've seen it. It's a hit. It will be a hit. He built himself a house out in Las Vegas. And I thought that was a telling move. Because he's born and raised in LA. He loves LA. But he moved to Vegas to be around his other buds out there. And I kept asking myself why. He says it's because of the taxes. I don't think so. I think he wants to be where the action is, so that as he builds what he's trying to build, he'll have access to the other people. When you look at the amount of money he made, there is no reason in the world why he needs to work that hard. He was a millionaire from real estate before he started. They asked him the other day how much he's made in the market. He says he's up $1 million. So now he's a millionaire in the stock market. And he did a program the other day about how much he made last year on YouTube, and he went down it. And when it was all said and done, he made over $5 million on YouTube. So why in the world would he add another show? But he did. Millennial Money. And he made millennial money with 3 of his other finance buds, and they all, well, I take that back. 2 of the 3 live in Vegas. One still lives out in California. And that show is already a hit. They've almost got 100,000 subscribers. So what's next? I mean, if I'm right, what's the next thing that should happen? Well, I think he will slowly continue to build his staff, but I think at a quicker pace than 1 a year. And I think that each staff member that comes in is going to have, from this point forward, is going to have another skill to offer. Whether he's on air talent, another videographer, or editor, but he will have a specific talent that's going to add to it. He'll start building a compound. What do I mean? I think he will be looking for a piece of ground somewhere in or around Vegas, a large piece of land, and on this land he's going to build some homes or duplexes or apartment buildings or something to house his staff. And then in the middle on this property, he's going to build a very large production studio, just like the old-time Hollywood moguls did. And in this studio, he's going to have many different sets, just like they do on TV shows, with removable and adjustable walls. They'll have many editing rooms with editors on staff. Just a complete, and here's why. For YouTubers, if you want to do a show, you need to have a set. Now, right now, we're in the black and white stage of YouTube becoming a monolith. So right now, you know, you can do it from your garage or from your home or from your kitchen table and nobody minds. But at some point, just like they did in the movies, we're going to go through stages. From silent movies to talkies to color to Dolby sound, surround sound. I mean, as it progresses, the technology is going to change, but people will need production, access to production, and they're either going to have to build it themselves or they're going to have to rent space. And guess what? There's already one ready to go at that point. I think also he will continue to add shows. I'm not sure that, I mean, for the short term, I think he will probably be involved to get him off the ground using his name. But I think he will withdraw. And I think the first one that we're going to notice is the iced coffee hour. I think at some point in the near future, he's going to start pulling himself away and letting somebody else take his place. Like maybe a guest speaker, or maybe have his 2 assistants do the show. But I think he's going to start to do that and see if the show will go without him. And if it does, that will be green light to him to keep going. I think he's going to cut down on his schedule because he's going to need more time for planning, and he'll have less time for on-camera time and putting out videos. But he'll have other people to put out videos. Like with the new guy, Alex, I would not be the least bit surprised, because the family was already on them boards, but I would not be the least bit surprised to see him do something on his own, or him and Jack do something together, and be on premises with Graham. Now, if you think about the possible compound, now I said he was going to look for a large piece of land, build some places for his staff to live. That way, they don't have to have a lot of money because they'll already have a place to live. And they'll have a large production building. And inside this building, there'll be, just like there are in Hollywood studios, adjustable walls, studios that are set up permanently. Like, remember the Johnny Carson show studio? It was the same for 15 years. So if you get a successful show, like Graham Stephan, he uses the same light and the same dinosaur and the same sign and the same desk, and he has since he's been there. And I think they'll have those throughout this building. I think they'll have a long line of editing rooms, because if you've got 10 different YouTubers renting studios every day, wanting to put out a video a day or a video a week, there's going to have to be some editing, and there's going to have to be a lot of editors. And the goal here is not only for him and for his production staff to come up with ideas, to generate ideas, to be creative and put everything they can in for Graham Stephan to profit from, but also to rent the space out so that any possible YouTuber that is looking for a set can rent it for a nominal fee, and they will get a studio, a space, a time slot, content providers, editors, and they'll do it from beginning to end. Will be done in this studio, and they will crank them out. I think that's what's on the drawing board, and if that happens, that will be the first time for YouTube, as far as I know, that'll happen. Now, there's lots of people that make more money than Graham Stephan on YouTube. But I think the story is not finished being told yet. I think that in 10 years, Meet Kevin won't be a thing. Jeremy won't be a thing. Andre Jeek won't be a thing. But Graham Stephan will still be a thing. Maybe not very well known, but he will be responsible for a lot of different shows on YouTube. He already is. He's either responsible or involved in 5 different shows at one time, and all 5 are successful. Think about that. He's got his main channel and a second channel. Okay? Well, between those 2, he's putting out content every day of the week. Then he's got the Iced Coffee Hour. That's anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half program once a week that he and Jack does together. Then there's Millennial Money, another hour and a half program with him and 3 of his finance buds. And then he's got the new one, the Stephamily vlog. Now, I have not even mentioned Savannah Smiles, his girlfriend Macy. Also part of the Graham Stephan household. Now, he has been on that show, and I'm sure that he has a lot to do with the production value and definitely getting her up and running. And everybody knows her as Graham's girlfriend. So if you count Savannah Smiles, he is responsible in one way or another for 6 successful YouTube shows. I can't think of anybody else that can make that statement. He's off to a heck of a start. And I think that's exactly how he sees it. Now he talks about slowing down and leaving, and I think he will, from the production and camera time, but not from building what his vision is for Graham Stephan and his future with YouTube. That's my belief. That's what I see happening. And as I see different things happening and falling right into step exactly the way that I see them, if I'm right, there are some certain predictable things that are going to happen in the near future. He will back off of one of those shows, either permanently or sporadically, trying to see if that, and I think it's the iced coffee hour, because I think that's the one that has the most potential to make it without him being there constantly. He might do like a Johnny Carson did and have a guest speaker, and he'll do the show once a month or something. I could easily see that happening, and if that works and if it's successful without him being there, he will be spending much more time planning the next steps to coming. I think the next two things that we can look for is to hear him talking about buying a large piece of land in or around Vegas, and stepping up hiring his staff. That's my opinion. That's what I've seen happen, and I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. I haven't even seen anybody ask Graham about it, but I noticed it almost from the beginning, and I've been watching for about a year and a half, and I am almost pretty darn sure that's in the cards, and he's taking one step at a time, making that happen. Well, that's about all I wanted to talk about. Something a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more subjective rather than objective about money and YouTube. Well, you guys have a great week, and I hope I'm right about Graham Stephan, by the way. I think everything that man touches turns to gold. As an example, he put $1,000, it was on a show, and I think it was the Iced Coffee Hour. Jack was talking about Dogecoin, and on the show, he spent $1,000 on Dogecoin. He said, I'll put $1,000 in just for fun. He did a show last week, said Dogecoin went crazy. It went to $89,000. And he sold. He made $88,000 off of $1,000 inside of a couple of months. Unbelievable. But anyway, I hope I'm right about the Graham Stephan Dynasty in the making and under construction. You guys have a great week, and happy investing.